Good evening and welcome to the closing ceremony of the WTO Technical Barriers to Trade National Workshop organized by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in collaboration with Center for WTO Studies and Center for Trade and Investment Law. I hope this conference has been insightful and an enriching experience for all our participants. At the outset, I would like to call upon Shri L. Satya Srinivas, the Additional Secretary in the Department of Commerce, to give his keynote address.
Distinguished guests on the dais. I think all of you in a hurry to go back. I think after an intensive 1 week, you're just waiting to go back rather than listening to any speeches and keynote addresses, right? I'll just take a couple of minutes, just 2 minutes, and then we'll get us over. I think Pritam gave the background and also the presentations what have been made in the last 5 days. I've just had a glance at them. The distinct impression that I got was, I think, gone are those days where tariff is a barrier. Today, it is the guardian knot of non-tariff measures, and how do we untangle them is the challenge that's there for the trade. And there are multiple dimensions, I think, which the sessions have brought out here. Those dimensions related to the state of development of a country, the quality of standards of those countries, the impact of technology. While the world is getting flat on information technology, but commodities, regulations, standards, measures, controls are actually making it uneven. It's not as flat as we think it to be. And this is where our challenge is. And in this challenge, the one and the only one way to go forward is capacity building. I think that's the critical aspect which this 5 days have put in place. And another dimension, which I was very glad to read, is it's a partnership. It's a partnership of the bureaucracy, the government, and the private. I think this partnership and the clarity, the knowledge, can only drive us to take right decisions. Otherwise, we are erecting walls between the borders. That's what I think the message which I could get when I saw the presentations. I hope the enriching presentations which are there have brought in greater clarity into the issues. This is an unending debate of new technologies. Carbon was never at the center before, but carbon is going to be at the center in future, right? So I think from that standpoint, the greater amount of capacity building and the greater knowledge we have, that's the major facilitator for trade. I think these are the sessions that we need to take at multi-layered level, not just one-off at the capital, but every port, eventually the entire ecosystem of whole of government. Whether it is plant quarantine or animal quarantine or food safety or standards related to engineering hoops, metals, whatnot, everything. It's a whole encompassing universe that we need to be very clear. I'm glad that the officers from WTO could come down, give the state of art knowledge about what's going on, what debate is on, what are the different viewpoints, conceptual clarity about it, and I'm sure all of you would have greatly benefited. I wish I also had a little time to come and sit and participate in those sessions. But that's the reason why I think thank you, Pritam, for giving me those presentations. While I had a glance at them, I would be in detail go through them and then perhaps we have a discussion of that. With that, I'll close my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Also, sir, I would request you to kindly present our speakers from Geneva, Mr. Eric, Mr. Mateo, and Mr. Anwar with mementos for the contribution to the event. Mr. Eric, please. Mr. Eric, Mr. Mateo.
You can carry it without a bag.
And Mr. Anand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. I will now request Mr. Mateo Ferrero, Counsellor, Trade and Environment Division of the World Trade Organization, to deliver his special address.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It's actually a pity that the Secretary had to leave because I was going to echo many of his messages. I think he indeed touched upon the key issues to close this session. I would like to mention 3 trends and then 1 invitation. So the first trend is, it is clear that nowadays and more in the future, international trade is not going to be driven entirely by tariffs, but it is going to be driven by regulations. It is going to be driven by regulations behind the border. We saw that in detail through our presentations, but keep in mind this figure. In 1995, we received 300 TBT notifications per year. Nowadays, we receive over 3,000 notifications per year. So that's a 10-fold increase in notifications, and the trend is clear, it is only going up. That's trend number 1. Talking about the substance, trend number 2. These regulations, due to the triple planetary crisis we are all facing, climate change, pollution, biodiversity loss, will only grow in the area of sustainability and high quality beyond safety. So safety is, let's say, the base. Now I think we're going up, and they will only keep growing in that area as well and become even more and more complex. And the third clear trend we see at the WTO in Geneva is there is more and more engagement at the TBT committee, at the SPS committee on these regulatory matters by members. And both of these committees are very effective fora for solving trade concerns in a non-litigious manner. So I think the third trend is we will also continue seeing more use of the committee in that sort of collaborative way that allows and fosters good international cooperation. So those were my 3 trends. Now, 1 invitation. I think I speak on behalf of Eric here as well. What a privilege it's been to be here with you the last 3 days. We have been very impressed with your knowledge, with your engagement, with your questions, with your experience. So my invitation is continue engaging effectively at the WTO, in particular at the TBT committee, because India has a lot to contribute. You are already contributing a lot. India has even more to contribute. So these workshops are a great way of maybe going on specific issues. We're here to help at the WTO Secretariat, so don't hesitate to reach out, don't hesitate to ask for more workshops. We are delighted to come and assist in any way we can. And then maybe finally to conclude, and I think this is once again on behalf of Eric and myself, thank you very much all the organizers for putting together this wonderful event. Thank you very much to the audience for your interest, your engagement, and your observations. We have learned a lot as well. And then a final special thanks to Anwar Shaikh for also making this possible, and also for being here with us these last 3 days. Thank you very much.
For those words of encouragement, I would now like to call upon Dr. Murali Kallummal, Professor at the Center for WTO Studies, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Simran. a small remark, please. Let me thank Eric Patias and Anurji for coming all the way from Geneva, and also Anil Johari. As I say, it's giant of standards, make process in India. Thank you all for being here, and at the only point where we actually find some issues are, the time given to us was very less, and I think we could not engage with the private sector more effectively, so the participation is little less. So on that note, that's going to stay with us, and we'll work on that. With that, I would like to end my remarks.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, I would request Dr. Pritam Banerjee, Head Center for WTO Studies, to deliver the vote.
Thank you very much, Simran. I think Dr. Murali Kallummal has already thanked Mateo, Eric, Banerjee, and Teresa for being here. Not just them, but for the last 3 days, we have some fantastic interlocutors from, including the ambassador, Navneet, who joined us very kindly. I would just like to end by thanking the efforts of all my colleagues from Center for WTO Studies and CTIL, who have worked tremendously hard for almost a week now to ensure that we put this event together at a very short notice. Not everything went as well or as perfectly as we would have wanted. I take full responsibility for the shortcomings that had happened. But I hope that all our participants, to whom we owe a debt of gratitude for being here for the last 3 days and being a fantastically engaged audience. While we had a wonderful venue on the first day, the last 2 days, in this venue, it's really constrained, I know, for day-long sessions, but the level of engagement and participation has been fantastic, and we are extremely grateful to you. Every session was interactive, full of questions. I think Mateo and Eric will testify that the level of engagement was very good. So thanks to you, to our participants. Thanks also to Department of Commerce, Joint Secretary Balaji, who is not here today with us, and all these colleagues, the facilitators at the gate, the caterers, all the other staff. Without their help on a day-to-day basis, this event wouldn't have been possible and successful. So thank you very much for all of that. And to end on the note that Mateo was mentioning, we hope to do this kind of event more intensely, and as was also mentioned by the Additional Secretary, perhaps take it to cities other than New Delhi, where it's also important to engage stakeholders there. So with those words and the deepest gratitude, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And that brings us to the end of this closing ceremony. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you.